My name is Frédéric Jullian and I'm working for Illex and Gunki. So now let's talk about some soft bait. In the selection, something that you're gonna understand very clearly, that's a shad, a glossy shad. This shad from Illex is really lifelike. The painting is really awesome. You have a really soft tail here, as you can see, so it's moving at any speed at all, and it's very clear. So for clear water and really pressure fish, that's really a key bait, glossy shad. Another type of shad that you can use is a V2 Vib. That's a new generation of Gunki shad, and the V2 Vib is really thin. It's really more a finesse type shad. You have a small paddle tail here, and on top of it here you have a fin that vibrate, and that's the reason we call them V2, like two vibration. The vibration of the fin on top of the body and the tail which is moving. And the small piece of tail here on top, it's to really slow down the movement of the tail. So that's not something we forgot on the tail, that's something we create to really slow down the movement. So it's really a nice finesse shad, and for perch is going to be a killer. And I'm going to speak about the jig head. The straight jig head, that's not a novelty, but that's something I want to point out. Straight jig head is really perfect for all your finesse type fishing for perch, since it's really sometimes a nightmare to plug your bait correctly and to change it rapidly without damaging your bait. And here you have the solution. You just punch it through the needle and then you get it. You want to change your bait from the V2 Vib to a seal worm. Here from Gunki, for example, that's another neat bait. That's as easy as this. And the hook is really well presented and is really sharp. Here you have the seal worm. That's another novelty from Gunki. It comes in different size, and it's really a killer for perch. This tail action for perch is really something you must have in your box. They are filled up with worm scent inside and salt. They are salted inside. So that's for this type of head. This type of head is really a dynamic head. You're going to cast and retrieve, cast and retrieve. And another bait you can use when you cast and retrieve with this is the scissor combs. The scissor combs is kind of a creature. It doesn't look like a real thing. It's more. But you can see already here, it's trembling all the time. So the scissor combs, that's Illex lures, and this small thing is always moving. And it's not only for drop shotting. It's really, I use it a lot with jig heads because of this small paddle, small arms here that are always moving. And of course, if you use it with the drop shot rig, you will also have a good presentation, but you won't have the same movement. I really love it with the jig head. Another thing for drop shotting, please rig your drop shot like this. Use the hook and just punch the head through the hook like this. So like this you get the maximum movement, and the bait is always well presented and the hook is nose up. If you rig it like a shad on a jig head, like this, at one point you will have your bait presented like this, and then the hook is not efficient. You will lose a lot of fish. So best presentation for drop shot, this. Another good bait for drop shots is the weather shrimp from Illex. The weather shrimps is a small shrimps, and a lot of perch and a lot of predators are eating those water shrimps, sea shrimps or fresh water shrimps. It's a lot of them, especially in the autumn. They are coming in groups and hunt for those small shrimps. And the weather shrimps is really the perfect bait for that time. You're going to use it in drop shotting or with a small jig head as well. Okay, and one last thing I will present is called the boogie crow. The crowfish is really something that the perch and zander are eating a lot because it's easy to hunt and it's a good meal, and they don't have to really run for hours to find them. When the crow are outside of the rocks, it's easy meal. So it's something we don't use so much, but it's a big part in the meal for the predators. And here you have the boogie crow. This is a flapping crow. The arms here are flapping all the time in the water. And I use it with the Texas jig head. So the Texas jig head allows you to really go into cover, and without getting snagged, you protect the hook like this. So like this, you can go really deep into the cover where the fish are hiding. Okay, I hope you enjoy this presentation, and I hope you're gonna have a good time on the water. See you there. Bye.